Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. So today's classic album inspection is a firm fan favourite of people who love this band, and it's Winger's 1993 release Pull. So it was released May the 18th, 1993. It's 30 years old today, and it's 47 minutes and 7 seconds of awesomeness for a lot of people, myself included. This came out, dropped into the middle of the grunge Seattle era, and it only made number 83 on the US charts. Winger went out and played some dates. Obviously, no one was very interested because trends had changed in the interim period, and they ended up, splitting up shortly after this until they came back in the noughties. Prior to this, they'd had two platinum albums. And in '91 they did a great track, Battle Stations, for the Bill and Ted Bogus Journey album, which that Bill and Ted Bogus Journey was kind of the end of that sort of era of celebrating that era of rock in a weird way, I kind of think. So they changed producer for this album. Beau Hill had done sterling work on the previous two albums, bettering the production within the Heart of the Young. But this album they got Mike Shipley in to co-produce, engineer, and he'd worked with Def Leppard. Sadly, he passed away, took his own life a few years ago, but he did a great job on this. So it's got all the kind of bombast of those first two Winger albums, but it's just a little more reined in. Red Beach guitar is more crunchy, it's more prevalent, the solos are mixed higher. And it's a record that would fit, it showed growth and would fit well in to the era if it had been given a chance, but unfortunately, events and fashions and trends had other plans. So it opens with Blind Revolution Mad. This is 5 minutes 25 seconds long. It's got a lovely acoustic intro, and it sets the tone for the album. So there's quite a lot of acoustic work on this album. It has more reflective lyrics, they're more sort of politically motivated. But then it goes into a classic heavy bit, and it's got one of those classic staccato Winger riffs. So it's like the band's kind of developing a sound, but it's still got that Winger DNA. Paul Taylor had left prior to this, so they're just working as a three-piece on this album. Rob Morgenstern's drum sounds really good, less bombastic, and that works for recording. Kip's on top form. This is a great track. They still play it live. It's got a great chorus and just shows a kind of different dynamic. Really, it's bringing in those more progressive elements that we'd heard a little of on the first album and coming up, in bits and pieces on the second album. Then the next track is Dish Down Incognito. So this is a really cool track. Again, it's got some nice sort of, I think it's kind of keyboardy type things, but it's got some acoustic guitar. It's got a harmonica break on it. Really cool chord progression. Great, good lyric and a really cool chorus. It's got this kind of dark riff, at the start, almost Phrygian-y riff. Again, kind of fitting in with kind of some of the new sounds that you hear in rock, but doing it in Winger's own way, and they're not kind of selling out or anything. It's great tune. Next one's Ballad, 3 minutes 55. So again, Winger developing, obviously Winger renowned for like Miles Away and Heading for a Heartbreak, which are great sort of power ballads, but more AOR hard rock. This track, Spalamunda's got more acoustic intro, it's more reflective, but it's got a really big chorus, and it's got a little bit of cheese about it, but it's just more mature, and it's a really, really good track, and lovely solo by Reb on this. Again, really good as no reason in another universe why it wouldn't have been a hit. Next track's kind of more going back to the Winger of old. 3 minutes 14, it's in my veins, but I really like this. It's really catchy. It's kind of funky metal, but funky hard rock, but less busy than something like Extreme. It's got a great bit at before the last chorus where it's got some harmonies that build up and just shows real songcraft. After the sort of more mature variation of first three tracks, it's good to hear some sort of slightly older Winger. Like I was saying, it was funky, it's like loosen up, but it's got more punch to it. And then, this was probably only released on CD. I'm saying side one, I'm guessing this would be side one, but it finished with Junkyard Dog, Tears on Stone, is in brackets, which incidentally, the song's kind of, it's 6 minutes 54, so it's kind of in two sections, so the Tears on Stone's kind of like the second section. This is really interesting. They almost blend two songs together, really, but it all works as one. It's got a really heavy riff. Again, it's got a Phrygian type riff, but the guitar's really tight, really punchy. Obviously, it's about drug addiction. It's great. Really like the chorus. It's kind of tracked with octaves of vocals. Cool solo. And then as the track it kind of breaks down, and then it goes into this kind of acoustic ballady, the Tears on Stone section, and I suppose like the first part of the song is kind of the anger the singer, the protagonist that keeps singing, feels about their friend being using drugs, heroin, I guess. And then the second part, obviously, it's kind of like the friend's died, and it's kind of mourning that loss in a way. It's really cool song, quite bold, unlike anything the band had done before, but it's really, really classy tune. So the next track is number 6, is another ballad, The Lucky One, but again, it's kind of more like The Spell on Under, it's more mature. Again, it's got cool like, acoustic work, and cool lyric. It's not cheesy. It's not like a cheesy love lyric. It's more reflective, more mature. I mean, at this point, the band, I'm guessing Kip Winger would be about in his very early 30s, Red Beach late 20s, so they'll live life a bit. It's a great track. I would say the next 3 tracks are probably the weaker ones on the album, but they're still good. They're kind of more like the Winger of old. So you've got In For The Kill, which has got a typical kind of flat 5 hair metal type of riff. I like the track. No Man's Land. This has got a good groove. This really good chorus on this, and then you've got Like a Ritual. This has got quite a cool drum outro. That's 5 minutes to that. The previous track's 3:17. So actually, yeah, all the tracks in this album, they tend to be, they're either under 4 minutes or over 5, apart from one of them. But it's still a good track. They're definitely kind of cool 6, 7 out of 10 tracks. They don't, the quality's still there. Then it finishes with Who's the One. This has got a really good lyric. It's all acoustic, but with nice layering. And then it's got like a nice long fade out, and it's kind of finishing more in a kind of 70s reflective mode, like the type of track you might have on a 70s rock album. So that's it, and that's the album. It's definitely a 9 out of 10. This record, it's very high quality. I mean, I think all the first three Winger albums are really, there's only like 2 or 3 tracks on those first 3 Winger albums where I'm like, I could do without that. But on In the Heart of the Young, there's a couple of tracks like get rid of those and put another one on. But just a class band, class players, class songwriting. This band were the best that kind of hair and glam metal had to offer. They were right in the elite for me. And since they came back making albums again, they're still good. The Winger albums are always interesting. They've always got great songs, always got great playing, songwriting. They always tick the boxes. It's just a shame this, it's like their previous album, it's got that gold standard production, the band's pushing forward. But it just wasn't to be in this era. So, Winger Paul, 30 years old today. A great record. If you've not heard it before, check it out. Put prejudice aside. This is a very, very good album. Cheers, thanks for checking it out. I'll see you soon. Thanks.